Welcome to House Money Podcast and our NFL Week 7 show. I'm Easy E and I'm the host. Joining me today, T-Bone.
T-Bone!
And Chalkboard.
Chalkboard.
Fellas, all I'm going to say, Week 6, House Money Podcast, 4-0. Fire.
It was sweet.
Well, you know.
Oh, my bad.
T's been having a time just since we got here, and everything that he's been going through, I would have him go through that and more to go 4-0 again.
Yeah, I peed on myself.
Okay, I was just going to play the...
I'm getting old. I thought I shook it all out. I didn't.
T-Bone went to the dentist today, and he's full of Novocaine in more ways than one.
And obviously pissed, too.
That sounds like one of those old Ernest movies. T-Bone went to the dentist.
Wow.
No doubt. Hey, fellas, Week 6, we were on fire 4-0. I just want to throw this nice little stat out to you. Dogs against the spread, 9-3.
Oh, yeah. What did we take two favorites, two dogs last week?
We did.
No. Wow.
You know, against my better judgment, and it all worked out. I know you guys been on me for a season and a half now, so maybe I'm coming around. Maybe I'm getting soft in my old age.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, that might be a nice segue into. I've been looking over Week 7, and I see some. There might be some more dogs barking this week.
Oh, I agree. We were definitely due for that 4-0. I think we should fire off and try to do it again.
Try. You hear that, T-Bone?
I heard that.
All right. Well, have you had a chance? Are you ready to roll? Have you had a chance to look at anything?
I'm ready to roll.
Chalkboard? Yeah.
I'm good to go. I know the format. We're starting off Thursday.
There you go. Thursday night, Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Denver +3. Total in this game is 48.5. Kansas City's coming off 2 straight-up losses at home to Indianapolis and Houston. Injuries have really struck on Kansas City on both sides of the line. Not only has Mahomes looked mortal, but their rushing game has been virtually non-existent with 36 and 53 yards, respectively. Listen to this. Their defensive line has given up at least 180 rushing yards for 4 straight games.
God.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Denver's won their last 2 at the Chargers and home to Tennessee last week, 16-0. Not much to say about Denver. They play tough D. They're allowing 17.7 points a game, but struggle on offense, averaging only 17.7 a game. Chalkboard, thoughts on Thursday night?
Well, this seems like the old adage of a good offense versus a good defense. You know, it's pretty much which side of the ball you're going to be on. Clearly, I like the Chiefs.
It's shocking.
Well, I mean, what do you want from me? They are 3-0 on the road. You know, maybe getting out of Arrowhead will kind of shake something. I can't explain why they've fallen off so bad. I mean, they got your boy Damian Williams back who, you know, thought would be a shot in the arm. Tyreek Hill comes back, gets 2 touchdowns in his first game.
Right.
That second touchdown where it looked like he had like a 48-inch vertigo or something was amazing. I mean...
Well, I think what it is, everybody does have the blueprint. You control the clock against them. You keep Mahomes off the field, and that's how you beat them. I mean, like you said, if you're giving up that much rushing yards and you can't rush the ball yourself. I mean, so I think that's what's happening. And I mean, let's face it, Houston's a good team. I mean, losing them's not it's not a disgrace. You know,
I think it's as much to do with they've lost 2 in a row.
They've lost a lot of swagger. Obviously, they were the favorite to come out of the AFC East with them and the Patriots. But preseason, they were probably the favorite. So, yeah, I mean, it's a disturbing trend to say the least. I mean, you know.
Well, and the Chiefs are supposed to dominate that division. Denver should be the worst team in that division. I mean, now to your point, Denver's going to be geared up for this game because it's like they're kind of limping in. You know, it's like if we're ever going to get these guys, this is going to be the week.
Right.
So this game opened at 4.5,
Right.
and it's at 3 now.
Yeah.
So Denver money's coming in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude, that money's coming in a mile high.
Yeah. Me personally, I would probably take Kansas City too, but I'm not really. It's not. I mean, if you want to put it on the back burner or something like that, I don't know that I'm totally sold on it.
I don't know that I'm sold either. I think my mentality is, and this is 20 years of whatever, it's like if I'm going to have like a team that can score versus a team that's going to try to play defense, because The theory would be, in my mind, is if they can get up on them, it's going to be harder for Denver to come back.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, no doubt about it.
Because, if vice versa, if Denver gets up on them, I feel like Kansas City can still score. But if all of a sudden you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't. It's so weird. I mean, they lost one of their best pass rushers, and they hadn't had any sacks at all or turnovers. When they were on that losing streak, now they've won 2 in a row without that other great defensive end, and they're starting to get to the quarterback. So, yeah.
I don't feel like y'all are on either side. I mean, if y'all want to come back to this game later, there's a bunch of other games that look a whole lot better, in my opinion.
I agree with you.
All right, so let's move on to Sunday night. Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas Cowboys. Dallas -3. Totals 49. Philadelphia's not good. They're off a loss at Minnesota. They beat the Jets, who had no quarterback. They lost to Atlanta, lost to Detroit. The question mark to me is, how did they beat Green Bay in Week 4? I mean,
and they look good. My God, they look good.
yeah.
But Dallas sucks. Dallas is horrible. Dallas hadn't beat anybody. It's the same thing. It's like a mirror image of each other.
Not only have they not beat anyone, they lose to a winless Jets.
Yeah, well, and their offense has gone stagnant. Now you're talking about Amari Cooper might be out this week.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
But we had the Jets, dude. We were on the Jets last week.
Yeah,
so
true.
You say that like,
True.
I mean.
Well, yeah, we're not surprised that this is happening because they're starting to play better competition. That was the Jets with Darnold. So,
now they've lost to Green Bay, the Jets, and New Orleans 3 in a row, all as a favorite.
Yeah, I mean, New Orleans you can explain away because it was at New Orleans, and that was a 2-point game. Green Bay is 5-1, so they might be the best team in the NFC.
But my point is, they were the favorite in the game.
Yeah.
They lost them all straight up.
True. I don't have a real feel for this game. It's crazy as it sounds. I might take Philadelphia, and I think if Philadelphia beats them, I think Jason Garrett will be fired come Monday.
How long has Garrett been there?
Been there like 8 or 9 years.
I mean, it seems like around this time of year, everybody starts talking about, is Garrett going to make it through the season?
Yeah, I'm surprised Jones has hung on to him this long. But
there was actually something I read earlier that was saying that, he doesn't feel like it's Garrett's fault. He must have like some video or something.
Yeah,
There's something amiss.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't bet your money on the Dallas Cowboys right now, so I couldn't. I would definitely be on the Eagles. I mean, 100%.
I would be too. If I gun to my head, I'd take the Eagles.
All right. Chalkboard, anything on that?
I will no longer be backing them boys. So, but I don't think anybody in this room likes this game enough.
No.
There you go. All right. Well, I'm interested to hear your opinion on this one Monday night. New England at the New York Jets. The Jets plus 9.5. Total 42.5. New England's looking good, but not tested. 6-0 straight up. 4 games with double-digit spreads. 4-2 against the spread in those. We kind of know what we're getting with New England. The Jets, though, like we just talked about, off their first win of the season at home versus Dallas as a 7-point dog. Darnold looked fresh off mono, threw for 338 yards. I don't know that New Jersey can win this game, but I tell you what, their schedule is getting ready to open up for them a lot. And they could get some momentum going forward. What do you think? Big Monday night dog at home. Chalkboard?
I mean, look, guy once. I always said,
wonder which way he's leaning.
The home dog gets the bone. I like the Patriots.
Wow.
I feel like, I said that cliche a minute ago. There's also the thing of, to beat the champ, to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. I don't think that you think they're going to win the game.
To be the man, you got to beat the man, yeah.
But if it's under 10 points, and I feel like it's going to be a comfortable touchdown game, I feel like they could do the 10. If you made me take this game, I don't feel like you guys. I think you're really leaning on the Jets. I think Darnold makes Le'Veon better because then he makes.
Oh yeah.
They can't have like 8 in the box and all that stuff.
Well, they average 10 more points a game when Darnold plays. So they've actually got a semblance of an offense. So I believe they average like 21, 22 points a game when he plays. So you're saying the Patriots have to score, in essence, 32 points or more to beat this team. So that's what you're looking at. I don't know. The over-under is only 43.5. So, yeah, I don't know. Gun to my head, I'd probably take the Jets in a backdoor cover. I think New England might go in there and scrape it, get out of there with a win.
Well, New England did cover last week, but it looked very sketchy at the beginning.
Oh man, it was trust me, I was there. Well, yeah, I watched it every second of it.
New England's not going undefeated.
No, and they're not some juggernaut. This isn't some Randy Moss led Brady offense. It's they don't have a running attack. They have a lot of injuries. Gordon got banged up last week. They have no Antonio Brown. I mean, they just do what it takes. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they're just a well-coached team.
I don't have it in front of me, but I'm sure there's some sort of stat out there too. In a divisional game with an extra day on a Monday night, Belichick. I mean, we all think they're going to win the game. The question is, are they going to win by 10?
Right. I mean, an upset could happen, but and you're right. They're going to lose a game. What game are they going to lose? They're going to lose one.
What would a money line in the Jets pay if it's roughly 10 points? Off the top of your head?
I would guess that'd probably be 325 maybe. So 100 get you 325.
So that'll be 325 we'll never see. But
I don't know. I just think this is another game that there's no consensus on, so we're probably not going to pick this game.
Yeah, well, that's interesting to me. I'm glad to hear you on the Jets there, T-Bone, because I figured Chalkboard would try to be.
He saw that 9.5 and that drew him in.
I believe
10 or above, I don't know what he would have done.
I believe every table has two sides.
That is 100% true. That 9.5 and his eyes lit up.
I'm sure we'll talk about it next week.
All right, Chalkboard. Tell me what else on this week's card to make your eyes light up. Who you like?
I'm eyeballing a few. T, you got one that you like?
Yes.
If you got one to lead off.
Here's my favorite. This is, of all the games, this is the one I like the most. I like San Francisco going on the road, giving 9.5 to the Washington Redskins.
Dude, I love this game.
Possibly the worst team in football. I mean, Miami seriously tanked that game big time. If you watch that game, they threw Fitzpatrick in the game, which he gave them life. If Miami wanted to win games, they could start Fitzpatrick over Rosen. Rosen is terrible. And so Miami had a chance to win this game, caught some ill-fated freaking two-point conversion.
It was painful.
Oh, it was terrible. But I was glad. I was happy.
You had to be ecstatic, dude. They still lost, and we covered.
I was going to say, I couldn't help but think back to E's commentary about, maybe we'll cover, but they'll lose the game.
Right. So Washington is terrible, man. I mean, they are freaking terrible, man. I mean, they are one of the top. There's three terrible teams in the NFL this year: the Bengals, the Redskins, and the Dolphins. And they're terrible. I don't know that they'll win one or two games the rest of the year. And oh my God, San Francisco, both sides of the ball, offense and defense. I mean, they're top 5 in both categories.
Dude, I wrote a whole paragraph about this game. Chalkboard, tell me, just because we know obviously what side he's on, do you have any love for the Redskins?
No.
Do you want to hear my paragraph I wrote?
Yes.
Okay, listen to this, dog.
Tell me it's a poem.
A limerick.
A limerick would be magnificent.
Dude, I might be inspired. Okay. San Francisco with a statement win over the Los Angeles Rams, 20-7 in L.A. as a 3-point dog. It takes them to 5-0 with wins over Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and now the Rams. 4-1 against the spread over those same 5. The defensive line, they live in the backfield.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's like a feeding frenzy.
A minute ago, you talked about New England. Whose defense is better? I know New England's ranked number 1. Whose defense is better, New England or San Francisco?
Buffalo, isn't it? Is it Buffalo?
New England's ranked number 1.
Oh, I thought you said who is better.
Who do you think is better, New England or San Francisco?
Oh, San Francisco.
Yeah, I think they're just a better defense. New England's more opportunistic, I would say. But just stout, I would say San Francisco.
San Francisco is just New England does not have a pass rush like San Francisco does. I mean, Bosa and those guys. Oh my God! Yeah, every time I watch them, they're in the backfield. I mean, seriously, they're chasing quarterbacks.
Dude, they put 7 points up against New England, 3 against the Giants, and 15 against Chicago. They put up 17 against Miami. How are they going to score against San Francisco?
Yeah, no, they're not. That's what I'm saying. And San Francisco's got a nice rushing game. They've got a nice offense. I mean, it's not like they're just a one-trick pony. They'll hit you on both sides of the ball. They may be the best team in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, and talking about that, as far as them, the statement win with the Rams, we had the Rams on the under, right?
Yes, we have the Rams on the under.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm surprised this hasn't jumped a little bit. You know, I'm really, I can't believe it's just stayed that steady. So,
Well, let's get to the window and get our money in for it. So we ready to call this?
oh yeah,
Here we go. T-Bone, official Housemate podcast, play number 1.
the Niners.
San Francisco 49ers minus the 10.
I don't know did we call the Niners' name out last season or no? I mean,
No,
I don't think I've ever heard that in this room.
I bet not.
Well, that was the game that I had this week that I absolutely love. So
Yeah.
for what it's worth,
That was my favorite game.
the rare all three of us on the same game.
Oh, there was no argument whatsoever. I got one, I guess, just looking around. What do you guys think about the Saints and the Bears?
Sell us on it.
Yeah, who do you like?
Well, now, I know we're working with some different information now. Live right now, because it opened at 3. This shows that the actual, right now, it's 3.5. I like the Saints in the 3.5. I know the Bears are coming off the bye, but, you guys have kind of finally talked me onto Teddy. I can tell by, like, just the uproar in the room. Everyone's with me.
Well, no, I keep going back and forth on this game. I'm just not, and I've been a supporter of the Saints. I mean, obviously we picked them last week. They've been looking real impressive. In Chicago, I guess Trubisky's still not back, right?
No, it's going to be
Chase Daniel, I
right.
guess.
Well, and basically he's got Allen Robinson, and he's going to be blanketed by your boy. Was it Lattimore?
Lattimore, yeah.
Yeah.
Lattimore's a
So
stud.
you take him away. They're still not really running the ball at all. Still no Tariq Cohen.
I don't know why I don't like this game more. I know, and it sounds bizarre. I should like the Saints more than I do. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's the cold weather factor and they're a dome team. I mean, they did go to Jacksonville and beat them, but that was in warm weather. I don't know. I don't know why I don't like it more.
So Chicago's coming off the loss to Oakland.
In London.
In London.
Yeah.
But before,
And they had a bye since then.
They have had a bye.
Yeah.
yeah, really though, their only wins are over Washington, Denver, and Minnesota, 16-6.
Which is surprising.
That's the
a good
surprising
win,
one.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah, because
know.
you're sort of arguing like possibly Denver and who'd you say the first one was? Washington are like the two worst teams in those divisions, or in those conferences, I should say.
Right.
So I mean, I liked it because of the 3.5. But I mean, because I was trying to get on this whole new wave chalkboard, maybe taking a dog, but.
Well,
You don't have to twist my arm.
again, I don't mind putting this game on the burner, but I still think there's other spots out there that even look better.
Put it on the burner.
All right, let's do
We
that.
got a burner game. We got 2 burner games, okay?
Well, I only got one because I didn't think we didn't put that Thursday night game on there, did we? Did you put Kansas City on there?
Just on the burner. But
Yeah.
The burner gets forgotten.
Huge
way back.
stove.
Huge stove. It's a back burner.
All right, T-Bone.
I think it's more like on the smoker.
T-Bone, you're up. Give me a game.
Oh, God. There's a. Okay. There's a. I'll grab one here. How about Jacksonville at Cincinnati?
Ooh. So it's Jacksonville minus 3.5.
Yeah, I go back and forth, but I like Jacksonville minus the 3.5. I mean, God, Cincinnati, they're just horrid. I mean, I want them to win. As a Dolphins fan, I want them to win. So we have no competition for the first pick in the draft. But they are so abysmal, man. They have no offense at all. Going against a top-tier defense. Now, I will say this. They just traded Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, to the Rams, was it?
Yeah, so that takes some of their sting out of their defense.
I would say in this particular matchup, Cincinnati's awful against the run. I can see just a steady diet of Fournette. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We always like to mention No Boy's name on the show, Minshew too. So, I mean, he's got that receiver. Was it DJ Chalk or something? He's making him almost look like he could get like some Pro Bowl votes.
Yeah, I just can't believe Cincinnati is this bad, and they're horrible though. They're just not good at all.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksonville. The question is they got 2 wins. They beat Tennessee and Denver, and I would say Cincinnati ranks below Tennessee and Denver. for sure. And honestly, their losses, Jacksonville's losses, are respectable. New Orleans, Carolina, Houston, and Kansas City.
Yeah. I mean, all those could be playoff teams.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. What do you think over there, Chalkboard? Or you had any Bengals love?
Oh, no. I don't know if anyone in Cincinnati has any Bengals love. I mean, I'm like you. Well, do you think it matters if Green comes back? I mean, is it just a lost cause at this point?
I think Green is really just sitting out just because he doesn't. I think he just wants out. I think he's just
right. What am I going to come back to? I mean, Mixon's fallen off a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got Eifert. You got the other Boyd.
Boyd's good.
I mean, they have. I mean,
but they just don't do anything. They don't score points. It's unbelievable. I mean, Pittsburgh went in there and just prison raped them. I mean, it's terrible. I don't know.
So, I mean, you don't see like midseason like the Bengals changing their stripes?
No, yeah. I would love to see them win a game, but
although we did well last week with your goofy ass joke, so whatever, let them fly, Chalkboard. All right, so y'all prepared to play? Is this play number? I mean, it sounds like it.
You want to give it a roll, or what do you want to do?
I mean, if you'd like to jump on it, go ahead.
Well, that'd be you announcing it.
T-Bone, official House Money Podcast, play
T-Bone
number 2.
gets to say it. The Jags.
Well, when y'all kick it back and forth, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I thought we rotated the whatever. It's okay. I've got a loud mouth. I like to use it.
Thanks for that tidbit.
Jacksonville -3.5. Official House Money Podcast, play number 2. So, Chalkboard, you're up. What do you got?
Looking around out here, and again, this is I'm looking at the live line. So, what do you think about Seattle at home? This opened up at Seattle -4. It's now down to Seattle -3.5 against Baltimore. I know you've been pretty high on the Seahawks. You know, this is Lamar traveling up to the Pacific Northwest.
Well, here's what the only thing that bums me out is Seattle just lost probably Russell Wilson's favorite weapon in that Disley, that tight end. Man, that guy.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he's out for the season now, and that was like his number one weapon. That's the only thing that throws me off just a little bit. And now, the Baltimore picked up a cornerback, right? Didn't they get Peters? I think they just picked up Peters. So they fortified their defense to boot. I believe they got him from the Rams, trading game from the Rams.
Okay.
The Rams got rid of Peters and picked up Ramsey. So Peters he's a pretty good defensive back in his own right. So they've fortified their defense even more. Push comes to shove, I would say I like Seattle in the game. I'm just concerned about him losing a weapon like that on short notice. You know, he just lost him in the game, and but I'm a Seattle. I love Seattle.
I mean, you got
I'm a huge fan.
You got Chris Carson and Russell Wilson kind of like running. You got was it Penny up there? There's another like change of pace back. But who talked about taking Will Dissly's spot? Is it DK?
Metcalf is the big receiver.
Right.
That's the rookie. They got Lockett, so that's the primary targets receiving wise.
Well, and I feel like to me, Baltimore's still clearly like a rush first kind of team, and I feel like Seattle's pretty. Do you have the stats? I mean, I feel like they're pretty good against the run. If they can, I mean, Lamar has showed us that he could pass, but I mean, I don't know. I just got a feeling that Seattle. I don't know. I think they could get it done at home.
By 3.5. What I mean,
let's see, Baltimore. What games they got trounced at home by Cleveland? That was a weird game. They lost a close game to Kansas City by 5. That's basically when Kansas City was actually looking like Kansas City.
I am looking at something.
Is that the 2 games they lost? I guess right because I think they're 4-2.
Yeah, they're 4-2, and Seattle's 5-1. And of the 4-2, what I'm looking at is it says Baltimore's 1-5 against the spread.
That's exactly the stat I was getting ready to throw out there. I think Baltimore looks so good week 1 against Miami that they've been inflated in everybody's mind since then.
Yeah, I mean, now you don't have to talk me into it. I love Seattle. I mean, I backed them the whole year. I'm Yeah, that's one of my favorite teams. I like watching them. I mean, Russell Wilson to me is up for MVP. I mean, he carries that whole team on his back.
We talk about it all the time, and I mean, it doesn't seem like he gets much, national love.
Right. I mean, as much as I like Lamar, I mean, if you got to compare Russell Wilson to Lamar, I mean, geez, I mean,
And Lamar's do a bad game, but Chalkboard, are you thinking about making this a play? Y'all want to put this on the burner? Some of y'all tell me.
what do you want to do?
I normally don't get in the kitchen that much, so we'll sit on the burner for a minute.
You say you
All
don't.
right,
get
I'll
in the
be honest with
kitchen,
you, I'm
so-
not super ready to fire on that one myself.
Yeah, I want to hear some more arguments on some other ones. We'll put it on the burner. We'll put it on simmer.
All right, Chalkboard, you're up. Give us a game.
Oh, you just gave us that one, didn't you?
Yeah, I just threw that gym out there.
Oh, you were Baltimore, Seattle.
I can go again. Though. I got a
go
couple.
ahead.
You got one?
Go
I
ahead,
got a
T-Bob.
good one. I don't know. I got here to me is a really good game. Houston at the Colts.
Okay.
Ooh.
So hold
Now,
on.
right now on the live, it opened at 2.5, and it's sitting at Indy -1.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I got. Indy
Okay.
-1.
So this is tough for me because the Colts really played over their head without luck. Brissett, say his name Brisket?
Jacoby.
Jacoby Brissett, yeah, Brissett, whatever. Yeah, he's really looked good, and they were rolling along pretty good. Now they got beat at home by the Raiders, right? That was their last.
You say that like it's a
Well, no, because
badge of shame.
Well, no, the Raiders have actually, they're not looking bad. They're 3-2, so that was their last game that's burning in my brain. So I'm thinking, they're not unbeatable at home.
Right.
Houston looks, they look good. They went into Kansas City, beat them. Watson really looks good right now. I mean, that whole team. They got decent rushing attack. All his weapons are firing. He's not taking as many sacks as he normally does. Man.
Yeah, 4-2 losses to Carolina and New Orleans in Week 1.
Yeah. New Orleans. Look at those two losses. That's a 5-1 team and a 4-0 or whatever. What is New Orleans? Have they lost a game?
New Orleans is 5-1. They lost.
They lost. Yeah, they lost
at the Rams, wasn't it?
What was that game they actually could have won?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, something else about this game, T. It's like this is basically for the AFC South, right?
Yep.
This is pretty much
the.
They'll play each other
play
again, but
in
yeah,
Houston,
but
So Indy comes off that win at Kansas City.
Houston.
Excuse me. Houston comes off that win at Kansas City.
Yeah.
I got the wrong button pulled up here.
Well, they're coming off the big win on the road at Kansas City, and Indy's coming off of a bye. So Hilton should be better.
Yeah,
They're playing at home.
No wonder I'm messed up. They both played Kansas City last.
No.
I have
Indianapolis
Indy's last game at Kansas City, 19-13 win.
Remember, like they controlled the ball, they ran.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
So they
off
lost
a bye
to
week.
Oakland before. Yeah, I got you. They lost to Oakland before that. Man, this is
And off a bye week. Maybe that's why they're the favorite.
Well, but everybody likes Houston. The way the spread's going, everybody's jumping. And maybe that's because they beat Kansas City on the road.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So what side are you on? You on Houston?
Oh, I didn't say I was on the side. I just like the game. I wanted to talk about the game.
Are you
I was
on-
going to say,
I don't know that I'm really sold.
it's a tough one. I feel like Indy needs the game more. Houston, that's pretty, it's kind of rough back-to-back road games. You think they can do it,
Yeah,
Houston, like I say, coming from Kansas City, now you're going to Indy. Indy's coming off the bye week. Should be as healthy as they're going to be from this point going forward.
Yeah, the mirror images. Brissett is not as good as Watson, but they have a good running game with Mike. They've got receivers with Hilton, underrated defense. They probably don't have the same weapons that Houston has with Hopkins and those guys, but
our boy Will Fuller came back to earth a little bit.
yeah.
Carlos has been playing pretty well.
Yeah, he's not playing bad. It's a pretty even matchup.
That's a tough one to call for me. If you made me, I think you probably lean toward Houston. I'd probably lean toward the Colts a little bit.
No, I think I actually, believe it or not, I think I would lean towards the Colts too, but it's just, I don't know. Just not enough of a feel on it to pull the trigger.
All right, well, Doesn't sound like we got much of a play on that. Chalkboard, you got any games out there you want to throw out?
I got a couple. I'm trying to see which one's going to spark the most conversation between all this knowledge in this room. What do you guys think about the Vikings at the Lions?
God, that's a good game.
So I got that at Minnesota -1, 45.5.
Right.
Yeah.
Looks like it opened up as a pick.
Yeah.
Has gone to Detroit, now gets a point at home.
Man, I'll tell you what, Detroit got screwed royally.
You think? I mean, that's
they
how it
should have
seemed.
won that game. I mean, they have now given up 8. They should have had a win against Arizona, ended in a tie. They should have beat Green Bay. So they're sitting, at 2-2-1, and they should be like 4. They should be 4-1.
And their wins are over the Chargers and the Eagles, who are not terrible. I mean, both those teams I would say are underperforming, but they're not bottom feeders.
I mean, they should be seriously 4-1. And, of course, Minnesota seems like they've waken up. They've woke up from whatever. I mean, they're playing a lot better. Cousins looks really good.
But Minnesota's lost to the only 2 teams they've played that are really are playoff teams.
Yeah, Green Bay and
Chicago.
Yeah.
So they've already got 2 losses in the division.
Is it fair to say that the NFC North is the best division in football?
I'd say so. I mean, my God, the worst team is either with Chicago or Detroit, maybe. I mean, damn, that's pretty stout.
So, Chalkboard, what side are you on? You threw this game out. I mean, who do you like in this?
Well, we had talked. We were pretty high on the Lions. Here's the whole trick to me: can Stephon Diggs come close to what he did last week? Because if they can have Cook, Diggs, Thielen, Rudolph, if they could be a complete team.
Yeah, they can click. I mean, and that's what's weird about Detroit. You're looking at them like, who do they have? Galladay,
Marvin Jones Jr.
Johnson, Marvin Jones Jr. Jesus, man. I mean, and I will say this. They jumped out on Green Bay quick with some trick plays and going for bombs and shit like that. But when it settled down, they weren't scoring anymore. I mean, they pretty much shot their wad, and that was it. And Green Bay just climbed back in the game and won the damn game, basically. I mean, so.
Well, Detroit, another team, 4-1 against the spread on the season. Undervalued. Undervalued.
Yeah. They're that's why it's hard for me to pick this game because I would want to say Minnesota, but Detroit, like I said, should be 4-1.
Right.
They somehow they win games, or they should win games, and they're better than what you think they are, basically.
Chalkboard, who do you like in this?
I brought it up because I like Detroit, but the more we talk about it, the more I mull it over. I think I like the Vikings.
Oh my gosh! I was so ready to fire on Detroit. What did he do to sell you?
He didn't really. I don't know. I have this feeling that
I think I've been pumping up Detroit. I'm going to talk about Detroit.
I agree. That's my point.
So, I mean, to me, it's not strong enough to where. I'm not.
I keep looking for all these great games. I think right now we're just arguing stalemates.
They are great games because the spreads say they're even teams. So
right.
They are.
Well,
great
I'm sorry,
games.
not great games. These great picks.
Right. Now, here's a game. Oakland, Green Bay.
Speaking of great teams.
Green Bay, everybody's jumping on the Raiders on this game.
Opened at 7. I got it at 5.5 right now.
Right.
Yeah, 5.5, 47.
Right.
Whew. Man, what do you think? All day I've been trying to talk myself into the Raiders, and I mean, I could because I still don't know if Devontae Adams is going to play. Their offense is not that good. If you stop their running game, you got Rodgers throwing passes to guys I've never heard of. I mean, Geronimo Allison went out with a concussion. I don't even know if he's playing this week.
Well, I was going to say, if it's no Allison and no Adams.
Yeah, and then you're talking Shepard's one guy's name. I don't even know the other dude that caught that touchdown from him. I don't know that guy's name.
Valdez Scott.
No, that wasn't even him. It was some other guy. So
Jimmy Graham.
God, he looks old as shit, man.
Yeah.
He was tripping over his own 2 feet out there. He's so ancient.
I mean, so you got Jones as the running back.
Yes. But what I'm saying is if you bottle him up like Detroit did, man, you really limit their weapons.
So can Oakland's defense stop their rushing game?
I don't know enough about Oakland. Maybe you can clue us in on
the
Oakland.
run defense has been better than what you would have expected. your boy is gone for the season for that cheap shot. He was in Cincinnati
Perfect.
yeah.
Well, they got a nice running back. They got
Josh Jacobs.
The kid from Bama's playing good.
The thing that scares me off this a little bit is that Tyrell Williams isn't going to play. He's got that plantar fasciitis. Yeah.
Well, Oakland comes off a bye week and 2 nice wins, one over Chicago and one at Indianapolis as a 6-point dog, one straight up 31-24. They got a win against Denver as well. I mean, Oakland has some nice wins.
Well, and to your point, it's like they are coming off of a bye week, and Green Bay played on Monday night. Short week versus, I mean, this would be the time with the points that you would give it some serious consideration.
And already with the injuries, questioning how they're going to score. Smells like pick number 3.
Getting a few points. Yeah, we haven't taken a dog yet.
5.5.
I wouldn't like that touchdown.
I love to root against Brett, or what's that clown's name?
Rodgers.
Yes, Aaron Rodgers. I love to root against any Green Bay quarterback. It don't matter.
Just like Miami last week, I'd be proud to cheer out the Raiders because I don't think we get to do it too often around here.
All right. Are you ready, T-Bone?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Chalkboard. Official House Money Podcast play number 3.
The Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders plus 5.5.
I think it's always when you take your own team. I'm sure like T's like this with the Dolphins, and it's like
I never have to worry about that. I bet against them every week.
We took them last week.
Last week,
and they won.
Look how they played. I mean, my God, they were home getting points against the second worst team in the league.
Gosh, they covered for us. We haven't had a whole lot of those, and you disparaged their name.
Yes, I do. I piss all over them. They're my team. I can do that.
All right, who's up?
I'll toss one maybe sort of toward E a little bit. What do you think about Arizona at the Giants? I know you've been kind of on the Cardinals lately.
Yeah, I think this is a tough game to call, in my opinion. Arizona, they won straight up last week against Atlanta, right? Because Atlanta's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, your boy missed the point after at the end of the game. The kicker.
Yeah.
Was it Bryant that's been there for like 1,000 years?
Yeah.
Just to make sure we got the same, I'm showing it opened up at Giants -5, and it's now currently -3.
Let me see my sheet.
That is the open and the live.
I'm just.
And it's actually gone up from 49.5 to 50.5.
What did you say it opened at?
I thought it was 3-3. It just looks like it started.
Because I got it opened at 1 and all Giants money coming at 3. And I also got Barkley as probable.
Yeah, Barkley's going to play.
Nice. I need him back.
I honestly feel like I'm on the Giants here. I feel like the Cardinals are due a bad game.
I mean, I kind of see that too because the Giants were looking better. Then they tailed off, but now they're getting Barkley back.
Well, in this last game they played, they had nobody. It was basically just.
Well, now they got Tate back. They got Tate rolling now. They get Barkley back. They got Ingram.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But none of them played last week when it was basically a sacrifice.
I think this line is the benefit of Arizona coming off 2 wins, one against Atlanta and one against Cincinnati, who we both think are just terrible.
Yeah.
So
Atlanta's like one of the top 5 worst teams too. Yeah.
Every
terrible.
team that Arizona's played that's good, Seattle, Carolina, Baltimore, none of those games were close. None of them were close. They 27-10, 38-20, none of those games were close. And I don't necessarily think the Giants are good. Excuse me, but the Giants, there's something there. They can score points.
I think they can score points, and like 2T's point, I think they're getting so much of their offense back now. When I brought it up, tossing it to you, I was trying to fill you out for the Cardinals, but I also would be on the Giants in this one.
Well, T-Bone?
I mean, gun in my head, I would take the Giants in this game. Yeah.
That sounded convincing.
But you can't sell us on Arizona at all? I mean,
no.
Well, I mean, Murray's been playing really well.
They have, but like you said,
Johnson's been playing well.
Beat nobody. They're going to. I'm sure it's going to be cold, nasty weather. They're a warm weather team.
True
so,
that. It's getting cold up there.
Yeah, getting cold. New York crank up that running game.
Did you say you weren't talking about Patrick Peterson when you were talking about Peterson a few minutes ago?
I guess there was three cornerbacks that switched team. Or no, Peterson's still there. No, this was.
Yeah, because what I was reading says that this is going to be his game back. This game.
Yeah,
so.
no. It's not him. It's the L.A. Cornerback went to Baltimore, and Ramsey went to L.A.
So let me throw this out at the chalkboard. Well, obviously, we're working off different information this week, and I'm working off our old site. And this was one of your favorites from last year, where they gave the edge, and where they estimated the line.
Okay.
So I'll just let you know the edge in this game is the Giants -8. So that is 5 points off the line.
So is that a back burner? What are we doing with this?
Well, let's put it. Okay, this is what I propose. We got 3 games already, and this will be the 3rd game on the burner.
We've only got one more game to talk about in this whole thing, and then we can just circle back around and grab that, because now we get to talk about my team, the Miami Dolphins, on the road. Ryan Fitzpatrick back in the saddle, starting against Buffalo.
Now, to make sure we're on the same, are you seeing it at opening at 15.5 and now it's 17?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm kind of liking the Dolphins in the game because Fitzpatrick brings a little offense. He brings a little bit. Rosen is terrible. Rosen can't score points. They didn't score any points till freaking Fitzpatrick got in the game.
Let me tell you why I love him. Literally 3 minutes ago, he said, I'd never bet on the Dolphins. He bet on the Dolphins last week, and now he's trying to sell us on betting on the Dolphins this week.
I don't know if I want to sell it as a pick. I'm just saying if I had to choose.
He's over here, like, talking up Fitzmagic. We do have, it's like, let's call your boy like Drew Fallen, because he ain't Drew Rosen
Well,
anymore.
I mean, who's the quarterback for Allen? Is it Josh Allen? He sucks, man. He's not any good. All he does is run. He has no accuracy whatsoever. They've got a stout defense, and
Can Buffalo put up enough points really to? I mean, are they worthy of laying 17 even against Miami?
Yeah, I mean, look, the over/under is 40, and they're laying 17.
That almost seems insulting.
Well, they scored 14 against Tennessee.
The Miami only averages like 8 a game, so I'll throw that out there. So you're basically.
I mean, if they even 24-7, something like that, it wouldn't be enough. I mean, you know what I mean?
Bit push, 24-7, yeah. So you got to think Miami gets. I'm going to say Miami gets 14. So yeah, can Buffalo score 32 or more?
If Miami can get 14, I think that. But I mean, Buffalo's defense is pretty good, right?
Pretty good.
Hold on a second. Let me see here. Buffalo has not scored 32 points all season.
And given 17.
I think they did that one game when Jim Kelly played.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's.
Yeah.
They scored 28 at the Giants in week 2, 28-14.
I know we always like to make a big hullabaloo about how hot it is in Miami. It's going to be like maybe rainy and nasty up in Orchard Park, isn't that where they play?
That's true.
And before that, Cincinnati was their next highest scoring game of 21. So really, they played 5 games, and only once have they scored more than 21 points.
My thing is, I don't know if the law would allow us to take the Raiders and the Dolphins in the same show.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Yeah, we can keep that for whatever. I'm just throwing it out there because it just there's only. I take that back. There are actually 2 more games we can look over. I thought that was the last one,
but we got 4 games on the burner. Are either one of those 2 such a glimmer in your eye that you got to go get them? Hold on, let me see what we're doing on time.
Yeah, maybe we'll go back. I mean, we have literally.
Oh, dude, no, we got to wrap this up.
All right, well, let's go back to the burner games. Let's go back. Let's see.
Yeah, we got to wrap this up. So here's our games we got on the burner right now. We got Arizona and the Giants. Giants -3. We got Miami and Buffalo. Miami +17. We got Baltimore, Seattle. Seattle -3.5. And New Orleans, Chicago. We liked New Orleans +3.5.
All right, we got to pick one more. So what do you think? Go ahead. What do you think?
Well, no, I mean, those were the burner games, right?
We got to pick a burner game.
Out of those?
Yeah.
You got 3 games now. You could take 2 more if you really loved them.
Well, I don't. They wouldn't be on the burner if we loved them. I mean, they'd already be picked.
True that. Good pick.
Do you like Seattle beating Baltimore by 3.5 more, or
New Orleans plus
the
3.5.
Saints. Those were the two that
That's
kind
the
of.
two that stuck out to me too. So we got down to those two.
Okay, so we're going to throw out the Giants.
Wow.
And we're going to throw out the Dolphins.
Let me look at something real quick here. Of the two, well, I mean, I know I said something about the Saints. So, I mean, and because you like Seattle so much, you're not, it's kind of hard because you just don't know what you're going to get out of Lamar.
Right, because the thing is, you're not giving a 3 to where you can even get a push. You're talking 3.5. Now, by the same token, if you take the Saints, you get that hook. So at least you got that going.
To me, the easier game is the other one. I think New Orleans, Chicago is the play because New Orleans plus 3.5. They're the better team. And what they do is they just keep games close.
I think that's what he was leaning.
So you're
at.
going to give me the hook, and
the hook.
This team's going to keep the game close, and they're better than Chicago
You're
anyway.
getting the better team. You're getting the hook. You get everything. Yeah, sounds good to me.
And I don't know that it's going to be bad weather in Chicago this week. I think it was something we talked about, but
Well, either way, what do you think, Chalkboard? Are you prepared to make this play number 4?
oh yeah, I'm definitely good with that.
All right, here we go. Chalkboard. Official House Money Podcast play number 4.
Dim Saints.
Dim Saints. New Orleans Saints plus 3.5. Another dog. Back-to-back dogs.
Worked last week. If it ain't broke. It's pretty good. Are we? What are we looking at on time?
So I think we're running a little late, but that's all right. So 4 plays this week. We'll review them real quick. House Money Podcast play number 1, San Francisco minus 10. Number 2, Jacksonville minus 3.5. Oakland plus the 5.5. And the New Orleans Saints plus 3.5. So, fellas, crystal ball predictions, Chalkboard. How Melvin Gordon do?
Not well.
Yeah.
Whole team didn't do that.
Actually, last week was the Cowboys.
Last week was the Cowboys?
So you so eloquently pointed out, so that was 2 misses in a row. So that was actually kind of odd. So I guess this week I'm going to go kind of Evan. And I'm going to say that Evan Ingram is going to score a touchdown for the Giants this week.
Oh, okay.
Evan Ingram.
I need Barkley to score a touchdown.
TD. MYG. I got you, dog. All right. T-Bone, choice cuts.
I gave everybody food poisoning last week, so I think I'm gonna hold off another week.
I feel you, brother. All right. Well, this is part of our show where we always mention our social media page on Twitter. We can be found at House Money Pod. I'm the host. I'm at easy_House Money. Chalkboard.
Chalkboard can be found at Chalkboard, CHALKBORED_HM.
There you go. As always, shout out to our executive producer, Dallas Jenkins. Listen to us on SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you do. Please subscribe. We appreciate it very much. Fellas, Chalkboard, you got anything else?
Coming off 4-0, looking for 4 more. What do you think, T?
There you go.
Feeling good. I know it was like pulling teeth on that, man. I ain't gonna go there.
His trip.
It was a tough one today, but yeah.
We appreciate you showing up. You're a gamer, man.
There you go.
I'm on heavy medication.
The folks at home would never know.
House Money Podcast, minus 1 tooth. We're out.